Hi there everyone, I'm Jenny Kirk and I'm welcoming you back to Weir Yard in the Loft, and today I'm going to be doing a top 10 video, and this is a follow-up to the video that I did a little while ago of the top 10 favourite goods wagons, and a few people have been asking me about my top 10 favourite coaches. So today I thought that I would give that a whirl, and I've picked out 10 of my favourites. So without further ado, come with me and I'll show you what I like. Well, number 10, this is the Bristolian set. Came with these collet coaches, and this is a Hornby model, and it's a full-on super detail coach, and I just really do love this item. And it's one of the things that Hornby does extremely well, in my opinion, is coaches. They've got quite a range, and they're not afraid to do coaches from different designers, different railway companies, and especially when you get back to the Big Four period, they do some pretty amazing coaches. So this collet coach here, and they're all good. All these collet coaches from Hornby are good. This particular one I picked out as a representative of them in this Great Western Railway livery. You can see there it's got the shirt button logo on the side. Is really, really nice. So pretty happy to be able to put this in as my number 10 favourite coach in my entire collection. At number 9, I make no excuses for the fact that I'm sure you know quite well from watching my videos that the Intercity Executive livery is one of my favourite liveries, be it on a coach or a locomotive. So for this, I've picked out one of the Bachmann Mark 1s, and this is a brake composite corridor, BCK, and it's a representative from my fleet. I've got, I think, every single Mark 1 that Bachmann released in this livery, and what's quite tragic actually is that they never seem to have reissued these in this livery, which is really quite sad because I do think it's a very beautiful livery and there's a lot of locomotives come out which match with it, but for some reason they've chosen not to reissue them. Still waiting to see if Hornby will release their Mark 1s in this beautiful livery, but you can see there it just kind of works, and even in this clean state on a model it just looks right. So this particular coach represents my entire fleet of Intercity liveried Mark 1s, but it's a little bit unusual. The story behind this one, I bought it, I think it was in a Hatton's fire sale, and I got the very, very last one available, so I was really pleased to be able to pick that up. And then it's actually the second open and second corridor coaches proved really difficult to find. Did manage to track them down in the end, and actually such was the way, as soon as I found them I started finding loads for sale second hand. But this is my number 9 favourite coach. At number 8, again, it's another Bachmann Mark 1, but I suppose it's testament to some of the liveries that they put out on these, that this particular one really tickled my fancy. Now, it was one of the early National Railway Museum special commissions from Bachmann, way, way back, and I can remember going on a day trip to the Railway Museum with some friends who said, you know, come and visit us in York, we'll go to the museum. And it was the first time I'd been since I'd been a little kid, and they were selling this in the shop, and it just really, really, it was the first time I'd realised actually that companies and organisations were commissioning special runs of coaches, locomotives, wagons from Bachmann, and I was a big, big fan of Bachmann at the time, still am, but this particular coach I do love because it allows me to run on other people's layouts any steam locomotive I like pretty much with this coach if they've got a modern image layout, and it's the item that lets you dabble in steam even if you're a super modern image modeler, because you can have a preserved locomotive pass through with this in tow. So it's actually a really useful coach to have, but I really do like it. Number 7, I couldn't decide, is this a van or a coach? I guess it's a bit of both. And this is the Hornby Super Detail version of the ex-Southern Railway bogie utility van. And it's one that, even from Triang days, was a firm favourite in the range. But Hornby took it upon themselves a number of years ago to completely retool this from scratch and gave it the super detail treatment. And I'm sure you'll agree that this is a very, very fine model as a result. So I was really pleased to be able to find this and add it to my collection. And I just really do have a thing for the BR Blue period, anything with Topps code on. And it goes in my sort of newspaper train so nicely. And it's kind of what I remember running on BR in the 80s as a hodgepodge of vans and coaches just like this, running to places like Red Bank, Sidings, that kind of thing. So it really evokes the period which I enjoy modelling. So I was very, very pleased to get this in my collection when it first came out, and particularly in this livery, though, of course, it is available in BR liveries and Southern Railway liveries too. And actually, it looks really good in all of them, but this was my particular choice. So, got no qualms about putting this in at number 7. Number 6, well, this is a pretty little thing, and I suppose as well it's got the same philosophical question: is it a van or is it a coach? So I'm going to put it in my coach collection. I guess it probably is actually. The Q code means that British Rail thought it was a coach as well. But this is in my Satlick Western livery. It was a model rail special commission from quite a few years ago now, and I was very, very lucky with this. I was talking to, I forget his name, who works at Model Rail, and he just commented that they'd found a couple of these stashed away in a cupboard, and would I like one? Well, of course I would. So I bought this after they'd technically sold out, and I was really pleased with it. It is a very eye-catching livery. Indeed, when I showed it in some very early trains going by videos out on Trinity Road, I kept getting offers from people like, "Oh, can I buy that?" It's like, well, no, you can't. I really like it. I don't sell my stuff off because essentially I buy it because I love it. So here we are at number 6 is my Satlick Western Gov in this very, very eye-catching red and yellow livery. For number 5, we are back well and truly to the Hornby range, and like I said before, Hornby have very much been the kings of these slightly more unusual items of coaching stock, and certainly for the Pullman carriages they have quite an extensive range, covering a number of different prototypes. But this particular one with the 12 wheels, so it's got 6-wheel bogies, really did stand out for me. There's something quite special about a 6-wheel bogie going around the track. All of the table lights on this coach do work. It's a trademark of the Hornby, and actually indeed the Bachmann Pullmans as well. And it is a really nice effect, and there is no expense spared on the detailing on this coach. It is so accurate, it is so beautiful. I really do love these, but they can be quite tricky to get. I don't think Hornby has had them in the range for a little while. It's kind of rested them for a couple of years. And I'm really looking forward to hopefully seeing them come back into the range. I mean, look at that exquisite detail there. That is just really, really nice there. Look at that crest. So very, very happy to put this in at number 5. And it is deservedly one of my favourite items of coaching stock. Number 4, we're back to Bachmann. And actually, this is a really old coach. Originally in the mainline range, it got warmed over, passed through into the Bachmann range, and was one of their oldest models, right up until the point that shortly after making this model as a special commission for Freising Hall models, the tooling actually got broken, so there will be no more of these unless they completely retool it from scratch. But this particular livery really just appealed to me. And this was as a camping coach. Now, Freising Hall models commissioned this, and it sold so well that they attempted to commission a follow-up. And unfortunately, that was when the mould broke. So there never was a follow-up to this coach. But as an item to go on a model railway in a siding, I just think it's just so unusual that I really do love it. Even down to, you can see in there, it's got the curtains in the windows. I just really like little touches like that. So it might be an older and coarser coach, but I really do love this livery. And so I'm quite happy to put this in as number 4 in my favourite coaches. For number 3, this might strike some people as being a very odd choice. And this is the Grizzly Coach from Hornby. It's their super detail model and has been produced over the years in some really fine applications of that teak livery, but also blood and custard, all over maroon, and early BR liveries as well. So it's come out and been bought up by a great many people and received so much aplomb and praise by a great many people, and deservedly so. But this, in this livery, is really unusual. It's the coach that I believe Simon Kohler said that with hindsight with the sales, they probably wouldn't have done it. It was a slow seller. But I really do love this livery. The blue-grey is really in the period that I model, and for something a little bit unusual in passenger trains, in amongst all those Mark 1s and Mark 2s, this stands out to me. It's the full super detail coach, no expense spared, but finished in the blue-grey, so not everyone's cup of tea, but certainly for me as an unusual addition to the fleet. It is the Grizzly Coach which I decided to pick. Now, the teak livery in LNER teak, that came a close second to this, but this just pipped it for me for its unusualness. Now, for first and second place, these coaches that I'm about to show you are pretty tight together for me. And, well, I'm just sort of showing you a vista of the model railway whilst I talk to you, just so you've got something pretty to see. But you probably couldn't get a cigarette paper between these two. So I'm going to have to pick one over the other. And after much agonising, I've decided to pick the Bachmann Birdcage in SECR livery as my number 2. Now, this was only narrowly pipped for me by the one that came in as my favourite. So really, you probably couldn't separate them. If I could call them joint first, maybe I would. But when this came out from Bachmann, it really did blow me away. Very expensive coaches, but as you see there, there's just no expense spared in terms of the finish, the quality of the model, and it was just wonderful to finally have some pre-grouping coaches to go with those pretty SECR C-Class, P-Class, H-Class, N-Class that have been coming out from Bachmann and Hornby and Hattons as well. So it was very welcome addition. So I've got the Birdcage break representing the 3 different coaches that Bachmann have produced, and they're all equally as good as each other. So very pleased when these came out. I had them on order actually from the day they were announced, and well, if it wasn't for a couple of little details, this would be my number 1 favourite. But as it happens, it's just made it into number 2, beaten by what's at number 1. So at number 10, we had the Hornby Collet. Number 9, we had the Bachmann Mark 1 BCK in Intercity Executive Livery. Number 8, we had the National Railway Museum Specially Commissioned BSK from Bachmann, but in the National Railway Museum livery. At number 7, we had the Hornby Super Detail Southern Utility van. Number 6, we have the Bachmann Satlink Gov Special Commission for Model Rail. Number 5, we have the Hornby 12-wheel Pullman, an absolutely fine model. Number 4, a little bit unusual, is the Freising Hall model Special Commission of the Bachmann coach there. Old mainline model, but really is quite special in this livery as a camping coach. Number 3, a little bit of an odd choice when there's all that range of the Grizzly coaches from Hornby, but I've chose the blue-grey buffet car. I really do love this coach. At number 2, we've got the Birdcage Coach in SECR livery from Bachmann, a really great coach and very much welcome when it announced. But have you had a quick guess? What do you think will be my number 1 choice? And indeed, if you want to leave comments down below what your personal top 10 would be, I'd love to hear from you too. So let me know which 10 coaches tickle you. What really presses your buttons in the right way. So let me know down below and I'll be sure to read those. Be really interesting to hear from you. But in my number 1 slot, what could it be? So many different choices, but there was one that was Well, it just edged the Birdcage, but it was very much a winner in every sense of the word. And of course, yes, it could be no other than the Hornby Pullman observation car, resplendent here in the full Pullman livery. This coach was second to none in terms of the detail, the attention to the finish, everything about this, the fully lit interior, and you know, the way those windows look so fine. I mean, that would just be so tricky to produce in any other way, but Hornby have nailed this model. Everything about it is perfect. Look at the quality of the detail. We did do a full box opening and review on this when I got it, and it has been one of my favourite coaches. A little bit of an unusual prototype, and it's one that, you know, by rights, maybe, you wouldn't have expected a manufacturer to have done it because it's just so specialist. But Hornby did take it on, and they've been rightly applauded for the quality of the model that they produced. So I have no qualms on putting my Pullman observation car as being my firm favourite #1 coach in my entire collection. Well, were they the choices that you were expecting from me? I'm guessing some of these weren't, but I'd love to hear from you down below. Post your comments and tell me what your top 10 favourite coaches in your own personal collection are. Or indeed, if you could buy any coach that is on the market or has been on the market, what would your top 10 be? I'd love to hear from you. But until next time, don't forget to like this video, share it too, and also subscribe to the channel. You'll be the first to know about new videos as and when they go up. But thank you very much for watching. I've appreciated your company, and I'll see you again next time. You take care. Bye for now. Today's video has been brought to you in part thanks to the generous donation of my fans on Patreon. And an extra special huge thanks goes out to Anthony Kidson, Michael Churchwood, Bob Threeton, Alec Ralph, Anthony Hunt, William Wade, Wayne Johns, Offshore Allen, and oorail.co.uk. If you'd like to help support the show, head on over to patreon.com/Jennifer Kirk. Thank you. Today's video has been brought to you by my books, Bringing Home the Stars, Twinkle Little Star, and also you can get the complete comic collections of All Over the House, Books 1, Books 2, and also the wacky zany Life of Knobty Mouse. Thanks, and catch you later.